So a couple of teams out of the Palmetto State will kick it off on Raycom Sports to get us started this season. 13 straight weeks of college football.
Tom, what a place to start college football off in a place like this, Memorial Stadium in Clemson, Death Valley.
Number 17, Cornell Hull. Number 26, Adam Schwartz. Number 17, Grayson Atkins.
Grayson Atkins will kick it away for the Paladins. Adam Choice is the deep man. Paladins went 8-5 last season. Made it to the FCS playoffs in the second round before losing to conference rival Wofford. Clemson all the way to the college football playoff. They went 12-2 and 7-1 in ACC play as that one sails over the end zone.
Tigers will begin at the 25-yard line.
Tigers, Dave, were 7-0 at home last year on their way to that college football playoff for the third straight year. Kelly Bryant will get it started for the Tigers.
Yeah, all he did was lead him to 13 victories a year ago into the playoffs. Kelly Bryant accounted for 23 touchdowns throwing and running the football, and the Tiger faithful here say he's a better player this year than he was last year.
6'3", 225 pounds, and a graduate student from Calhoun Falls, South Carolina. Wants to throw it. This one is incomplete near the 40-yard line, intended for Hunter Renfro. Time for the Food Lion impact players as we get started this afternoon, Dave.
You don't have to go any further than the left tackle, Mitch Hyatt. You look at what he's done, 42 starts, and he's almost got 3,000 snaps. They say don't have to worry about the left side with Hyatt on that side.
On second down, the ball is on the turf as Bryant ran into a teammate, trying to create something, stumbling down near the 29-yard line. He got 3. Donovan Perryman, number 44 in white, on the tackle.
A little bit of an auspicious start here. A poor throw by Bryant, and then Etienne runs into Bryant as he's trying to throw the ball to the outside. And the Paladins have got Clemson right where they want them on 3rd and long here.
Tigers were first in the conference a season ago at 46% on 3rd down. This is 3rd and 6. To the far side, and enough on the grab by T. Higgins to move those chains.
Well, T. Higgins is one of these young receivers that's played a ton of football. He's going to push off, just run the comeback route on the outside, quick curl route, and a good throw by Kelly Bryant to kind of get themselves going a little bit. A little bit of a shaky start in the first 2 plays. Kelly
Bryant completed 66% of his passes a season ago. Etienne up near the marker, just short of it. Near the 47-yard line, Bryant had the tackle for Furman.
Travis Etienne averaged 7.2 yards a carry, got 8 on that play, so he's off to a great start here in 2018.
Dabo Sweeney's 10th full season as the head coach. 2nd and short, trying to go deep. It's beyond everyone. T. Higgins was the receiver in the vicinity for the Tigers. Quindarius Reams back in coverage for Furman.
Yeah, excellent coverage by Weems against Higgins, taking the shot down the field. Look at our Food Line impact player defensively. Chris Washington, one of the returning starters defensively. Not the biggest linebacker in the world, but he's sideline to sideline. Watch number 99. He'll be in a lot of plays.
This will be 3rd and 1 for the Tigers. Etienne trying to get away, came up short of the line. No gain from Travis Etienne, the sophomore running back.
Konya, the defensive end, does an excellent job of forcing the ball back to the inside. So the Paladins kind of holding strong in the middle. Now 3rd and short. 4th and short. I'm sorry, 4th and short.
Tigers were also best in the ACC on 4th down. And it looks like they're going to have this one up near midfield. Travis Etienne blasting through the line for 5 yards and another Tiger first down.
This is an area, Tom, where we talked to the Clemson coaches. They felt like they had the advantage, obviously a little bit bigger up front. So when you get these short yardage situations, just coming off shoulder to shoulder and pushing the smaller Paladin defense off the field so Etienne can get the first down.
86 degrees here in Clemson, South Carolina. 60% humidity. On first down, Rogers gets inside the 45-yard line.
Rogers.
6 yards on the play for Rogers. Elijah McCoy on the stop for Furman.
You watch this Clemson team, and if you watched it over the years, how different guys fill different roles. He's going to be playing that role where Artavis Scott played, where Ray McLeod played. Now you've got Amari Rogers.
Quick pass to Renfro at the 45. Cannot get away. Renfro taken down. Amir Trapp making the stop, Dave.
Former Clemson Tiger. Played here with Clemson a year ago, transferred over to Furman, makes an excellent play on that, plays off the block of the screen, makes the tackle for no gain.
Trapp appeared in 10 games last season in a Tiger uniform. Father James was also an outstanding Clemson Tiger in his day. Bryant, the throw is low at the feet of Cornell Powell and incomplete.
Yeah, Kelly Bryant has come out a little bit shaky throwing the ball. He got bailed out on his first throw where receiver laid out to make a catch, but that throw was short, and they're going to go for it again, Tom, on 4th down.
Well, they got the last 4th down attempt on this opening drive with 11:41 to go in the first quarter. 4th and 4, and there's a timeout on the field. It's taken by Furman. So as the Tigers think about 4th down, we'll step aside on Raycom Sports.
ACC football is brought to you by Geico, saving people money for over 75 years. By your local Chevy dealers. By Lending Tree, official loan shopping partner of the ACC. And by Food Lion, raising standards without raising prices. How refreshing.
Back in Clemson, South Carolina, Dabo Sweeney. A lot of joy on that face. We'll see how he reacts after 4th and 5. Kelly Bryant with the time. Floats it down near the 20-yard line. A lot of activity between receiver and defender. Cornell Powell was the intended receiver.
Well, that's excellent coverage by Weems. Low percentage throw to throw the fade route on 3rd and 5. Weems does a good job staying in the hip pocket, gets the left hand and bats it away. 2 big plays by Weems in the series.
And now let's check in with the 3rd member of our broadcast team, Larisha Harris, with more on the Furman quarterback.
Yeah, very unusual story here regarding the Furman quarterback. Actually, he's a student at Clemson. He's a part of a dual enrollment program where he's working on his 2nd degree. He's already completed the requirements for his 1st degree at Furman. So he's a pre-engineering major, 15 credit hours on his schedule right now. Not a tall task for him. So he's taking classes such as control and integration of mid-domain dynamic systems. Something that might be hard for me, but definitely not hard for him. But what will be a tall task today for him is going up against the number 2 ranked team in the nation and arguably one of the best defenses in college football right now. Tom, Dave?
Yeah, thanks, Larisha, and welcome to the broadcast team. We appreciate and good to have you. Hey, Tom, that was on your schedule, wasn't it?
At Syracuse University? Yes, absolutely.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right. I didn't even understand what she said, let alone go to the class.
That was just one class or a whole bunch of classes? And he proudly wears the purple of the Paladins in the classrooms as the Furman QB. There's a flag on the field.
Offense number 71.
Roger Johnson has the cap. He's our referee this afternoon. It goes against the Paladins.
Now this is an area now where Clemson, talking to their coaches, were concerned about what Furman brings to the table from an option standpoint. Whenever you play an option team that's precision, the way Furman can play, even though they've got an inexperienced quarterback, they can cause you problems. So assignment conscious is Brent Venables' defense right now.
7th year on the staff as the defensive coordinator for Brent Venables. Gibson on the carry. He's going to lose 1.
Dexter Lawrence, you can name whoever you want to. Dexter Lawrence, number 90, is a beast of a player, defeats the block and then just wraps the back up. Literally tackled Cover, the center, and the back at the same time, Dirk. So that's one of the All-Americans up front. Dexter Lawrence, 6'5", 340 pounds, monster.
Out of Wake Forest, North Carolina, and Wake Forest High School. Dirks and Moorhead, the backs, with Harris Roberts. Up past the 40-yard line by Dirks. He got 2. Time for the Food Line impact players. We start with the Paladins on offense.
Yeah, Keelan Dirks is their leading returning rusher. Lost Antonio Wilcox from a year ago, but Dirks comes back 9 touchdowns. He's 250 pounds, so if there's going to be a big guy that can run the football against this Clemson defense, it didn't happen in that series, it's going to be Dirks.
Atkins to punt for the Paladins. Amari Rogers is the deep man, standing at his 20-yard line. Rogers backtracking. Now up the center of the field. Breaks a couple of tackles beyond the 40. And up near the 43-yard line for Amari Rogers. It is now time for our Carolina Ford dealers keys to the game with Dave Archer.
Now when you look at the keys to the game, start talking about the Clemson Tigers. Well, let's start with Furman. Shorten the game. By that I mean stay on offense. You got to stay on the field. They don't feel like they necessarily match up well against Clemson's offense. And for Dabo, he talked about precision and detail, meaning execute and to the letter of the line. Whatever they do, that's their standard, is precision and detail. They want to do that today.
Thompson trying to get around the edge, can't do it. Honor had the tackle.
I thought it was fun to talk to Dabo yesterday, Tom, and when you talk to him, how relaxed he is at where the culture and where the program is. And when he talked about precision and detail, he said, we have a standard set here. We have so much competition in practice. No one we're going to play is going to be any better than what we see in practice.
At the 45, the catch made by T. Higgins for a first down for the Tigers. He got 8 yards as Weems forced him out.
Well thrown on the quick out. This is tough to get the ball seated in your hand by Kelly Bryant. Makes an outstanding throw here to T. Higgins to get the first down.
From the 45 of Furman, 1st and 10 for the Tigers. Bryant, Rogers. And he barrels his way to the 40-yard line.
You don't think Amir Tapp's seen that play before, do you? Excellent job. They show option and then throw the ball to the outside. But Amir Tapp, number 6, the corner, he practiced with this team. He knows exactly what potentially could be coming. He did a nice job of staying at home.
2nd and 5.
Tigers trying to turn up the tempo on 2nd and 5 for the 40. Bryant with the time. The pass. It is caught. And a touchdown. Amari Rogers running under it. And the Tigers are in the end zone first.
Let's take a look now. Look at Amari Rogers with his hands. When does he show his hands to the DB? Right at the last moment. Weems is looking at his hands. When he extends his hands, he's going to come in and try to rake it out. Great job by Amari Rogers with showing his hands late. Let the ball drop right over his shoulder.
Greg Hugel for the extra point.
The Clemson Tigers are playing at Memorial Stadium, and they're making their run to the playoffs. It starts with Amari Rogers, 7-0.
Ram Trucks is giving ACC fans a chance to win an all-new 2019 Ram 1500 Laramie Crew Cab 4x2 featuring uncompromising luxury. Enter for your chance to win now through November 11th at the acc.com/truck giveaway. Ram, built to serve. Well, the Tigers rolled on into the end zone. Kelly Bryant, who threw 13 touchdown passes a season ago, has his first of this year. And Amari Rogers has his first TD grab of his career, the sophomore Rogers, on the 40-yard connection from Kelly Bryant.
Well, it's an excellent job of Clemson coming out their second drive and putting the ball in the end zone. Got a short field opportunity to split 57 yards, short time, 4 plays. And Amari Rogers featured in the drive. And boy, an excellent job of Rogers. That was really pretty good coverage, Tom, by Weems, but just a good job of Rogers pulling the ball in at the last moment.
Dwan Bell will watch it. All right, let's go to our studio. First update with Katie Rhythm and Tommy Bowden in Charlotte.
Let's head to Raleigh. NC State taking on James Madison, and it's former Pitt quarterback Ben DiNucci who puts James Madison on the board first.
I thought that name sounded familiar, but here's a guy that feels comfortable in that arena, and it's an ex-ACC player, Ben DiNucci.
Tom, back to you.
Katie, thank you. Look forward to those updates all day long. It's a big day in the ACC, big weekend. We've already had 3 teams post victories, and we've got a quarterback change. Jamar Lincoln, number 12, Dave, is in for the Paladins.
Redshirt freshman from Waycross, Georgia. Dual threat guy, ball on the ground.
Furman able to fall on it near the 21-yard line. They lost 3 on the play. Simmons, the disruptor for the Clemson D.
Yeah, this defensive front is so disruptive. They penetrate. They're big. They're strong. They can bull rush you. They're quick. It is a nightmare for a front 5 to handle. When you look at their maybe the heartbeat of the 4 up front, Christian Wilkins, the graduate student, second-team All-American a year ago, and you see the tackles for loss. He camps out in your backfield.
That throw will sail into the Furman bench from Harris Roberts. Camber Net, number 11, the closest receiver.
Yeah, Austin Bryant right in his face. We talked about this defensive front. They're in your face all day long. Christian Wilkins, number 42, blows up the back trying to come across. And then, hey, say hello to Austin Bryant, number 7 at 6'5", 280 pounds. As he introduces you to college football.
Austin Bryant, who had 8.5 sacks last season for this Tiger defense. 3rd and 13 for the Paladins. Pressure. Lincoln got away. Up near the 40. And they'll mark him near the 42-yard line as Wallace had to make the tackle. 21 yards on the play by Jamar Lincoln.
Well, Lincoln does an excellent job of sidestepping the blitz. Clemson comes with 6 rushers, and right there he steps by the blitz, and there's nobody at the second level because he just ran by both those guys in the backfield. Both linebackers came. That's a nice job of running the ball up the field. He had almost 900 yards, or over 1,000 yards rushing, and almost 900 yards throwing the football at Ware County High School in Waycross.
The redshirt freshman, Jamar Lincoln, in on the second series for the Paladin. Wants to toss this one. Took a hit. Flags are out as the play was made at the 30-yard line. Thomas Gordon was the receiver for the Paladins. And back there was Tanner Muse, number 19 for the Tigers.
Yeah, Muse couldn't locate the ball. Excellent job again by Lincoln to stand in, knowing pressure was coming, and delivered the ball on target.
Defensive pass interference, number 19. That's an automatic first down.
Take a look at the heat and how Lincoln waits. Here comes Cleveland Farrell off the edge, takes a big shot. There's Dexter Lawrence as well. But the ball's a little underthrown, and Muse runs in to Gordon down the field. Just couldn't locate the football. He knew he was beat down the field, so he thought, I got to catch up. And when he caught up, he actually ran into Gordon, the leading receiver for this team.
Second-year head coach Clay Hendricks sees his team move the ball to the Clemson 43-yard line. Lincoln cut down at the 45. Trayvon Mullen and a loss of 1.
Well, Trayvon Mullen, the corner, is going to come knife in off the edge. Cleveland Farrell wins to the inside, destroys the dive back, and then here comes Mullen, the corner, slicing in to take care of the quarterback. Assignment football.
Here's our 1st and 10 line, brought to you by Lending Tree, official loan shopping partner of the ACC. Paladins have to get to that 33-yard line on 2nd and 11. Harris Roberts was the quarterback for the first series. They've gone to the redshirt freshman Lincoln, trying to escape the orange pressure, and he gets upended. Kayvon Wallace making the hit.
Well, it's a good play by Wallace. It's a really good play by Lincoln. Cleveland Farrell's loose again in the backfield. This is why Lincoln's in the game, because his ability to run and avoid the pressure. But Wallace comes up from the safety spot and a textbook tackle to put the quarterback on the ground. He says, not here.
Junior from Richmond, Virginia, making the play there. On 2nd down, it's now 3rd and 10 as we approach the 5-minute mark of the first quarter. 7-0 Tigers. On a 40-yard touchdown pass by Kelly Bryant. That snap is high and bouncing back inside the 30. Lincoln running back to get it. Big time loss on the miscue.
Now, ball goes over his head, and this is a really good job again. That was way over his head. I'm not sure anybody on the Furman basketball team feels that one, but good job by Lincoln to get back on the ball. A little bit dangerous to try to scoop it. He had Justin Foster in his hip pocket, the defensive end from Clemson, but a huge loss after being able to push the ball out near midfield.
That was a loss of 28 yards. So Atkins must punt from his 15. Rogers, the deep man. Amari Rogers has the touchdown catch in the first quarter. Shuttles back to the 18. He's going to use all of the field. Rogers with some room at midfield. Stiff arm at the 35 and dive into the 20. Amari Rogers on the return.
Well, the punt return duties were handled by Ray McLeod last year. Amari Rogers only had 2 returns and averaged 7.5 yards. You can fix that number now. Amari Rogers finds the wall, and really Clemson didn't do a very good job of blocking at the back end of this, or Rogers walks into the end zone. Excellent return, and this perfect opportunity for Kelly Bryant from the 20-yard line.
53 yards on the return. Matt Sachovka had to make the TD saving tackle. Choice trying to get back to the line of scrimmage. May have lost a little in the process.
Tom, this is a Furman defense that played well against the run a year ago. They only averaged 149 given up yards per game. Only had 3 teams rush for a decent number of yards.
Here's our Red Zone, brought to you by CPI Security, the official security partner of the ACC. Bryant trying to break through the red zone and spinning. The ball came out at the end of the play near the 17-yard line, but the official coming in saying Bryant was down at that juncture.
And Jordan Willis, the linebacker, comes in, makes a pretty good lick there. Bryant didn't see anything downfield, decided to take off. Kelly was extremely dangerous a year ago running the ball. Got a host of Paladins in on the tackle and certainly was on the ground before the ball came out. Good call by the officials. See number 30, Jordan Willis makes the initial hit.
Bryant had 11 rushing touchdowns last season and carried the ball the most of any Tiger back. That one at the 10-yard line. Incomplete and nearly intercepted by Elijah McCoy.
Now McCoy started 10 games a year ago as a freshman. And you can see he's learned quite a bit as a sophomore. What a break on the football. The 225-pound linebacker almost made a monster play in an interception. But how about that defensive stand by Furman to come in with their backs against the wall? Clemson at the 20-yard line and essentially gave up 2 yards.
35-yard attempt for Greg Hugel. Hugel adds another 3. 10-0 Tigers. And we'll be back after a word from your local ACC station.
Bojangles' famous chicken and biscuits.
It's bow time!
Spirited tailgating in Tiger Town. It's bow time at Bojangles. Grab a big bow box to feed the whole group. Bojangles chicken, biscuits, fixins, and tea. This year, Ram and Bojangles have teamed up to provide one lucky fan a VIP trip for 2 to the Dr. Pepper ACC Championship game, a Bojangles Ultimate Tailgate Package, and a brand new Ram 1500 truck. Enter to win at the ACC.com/truck giveaway. 10-0 Tigers. Greg Hugel, his 44th career field goal. He was only able to attempt 4 field goals last year after an early season knee injury, but he is back kicking field goals for the Tigers. B.T. Potter is kicking it away for Clemson. All right, let's go down to the sidelines and check in with Larisha.
Hey guys, so Amari Rogers already making an impact in this game. Scored a 40-yard touchdown at the early beginning of the first quarter, I should say. He is the son of former Tennessee national champion winner QB T. Martin. Rogers actually decommitted from USC, where he was going to play for his father, but instead decided to come to Clemson. Again, as you can see, already making an impact in this game. Tom, Dave?
Yeah, T. Martin coaching out on the West Coast, tried to get his son out there, but Amari said, you know what, I'm going to go to Clemson.
How about that?
Martin, he was a pretty good player.
Yeah, that Tennessee team in '98, Dave, 13-0 and beat Florida State 26-16 in the Fiesta Bowl. And now T. Martin, the quarterback's coach at Southern Cal. That's a short gain for Dirks of 3 yards.
Well, positive gain through the middle. This is what they would like to do. They have not been able to do it so far. It's been about the quarterback scrambling and trying to make plays, but they finally get a positive push on first down.
It'll be 2nd and 7 for this Furman program, which went to the FCS playoffs a season ago, their first appearance in the postseason since 2013. A win against Elon, but a loss against Wofford in the second round of those playoffs.
Excellent run there by the freshman Corey Watkins. Watkins is a kid that keeps getting inserted into the game. When you look at him as a runner, he's got some speed. You saw the wide toss. We see Georgia Tech do that a lot. You'd think that Clemson might be dialed in. That's why this team in Furman, they operate at extremely high level, do an excellent job of leveraging their blocks, and operate within the confines of what they're trying to get done. And a really good job by the freshman there on the wide toss play.
57th all-time meeting between the programs, 3rd and 2 for the Paladins in the white. Whistles before the snap, and a timeout taken by Furman.
Furman, second charge for the half.
1:26 to go in our first quarter, 3rd and 2 for Clay Hendricks and the Paladins. How about some history, Dave? Here's our First Citizens Bank Forever First. We take you back to 1896. The two teams playing in Greenville, South Carolina.
Clemson's oldest foe, obviously, if this is the first time they teed it up. Clemson's beaten them 30 straight times, but Furman had their way for a while. In the 30s, back in the 30s, Furman got after Clemson.
1896. First Citizens Bank, forever first.
Well, these two teams have exchanged coaches. There's been coaches that have coached on both staffs down through the years. And Clay Hendricks has done an excellent job now at Furman. And they had a nice run last year. Lost their first 3 games a year ago and then ripped off 7 straight to go to the playoffs. Won in the first round and dropped that second round game to Wofford.
Up there at the 35-yard line. Should be good enough for the first down. Jamar Lincoln got 3 on the play. It is a first down for the Paladins.
Coach Hendricks thought that he might get Lincoln in the game. He felt like that the dual threat ability, his ability to avoid rush, all those things have come into play here early in the game. And see Coach Hendricks on the sideline talking to some of his coaches, some adjustments they want to make. That was a good timeout by Coach Hendricks. He didn't like what they had called the timeout on 3rd down, got the right play, and got a first down.
Clay Hendricks, the coach of the year in the SoCon last season, 8-5 on the year and 6-2 in conference play. That is Dirks for a modest gain. This is our first game of the season, but next week we are going prime time. Next Saturday from Tallahassee, the number 19 team in the country, the Florida State Seminoles, hosting the Sanford Bulldogs.
Yeah, it'd be fun to watch and see Willie Taggart's team. Been a lot of good things coming out of Tallahassee. We start talking about what they're doing down there. Of course, a huge in-conference game as the Hokies travel down to Doak Campbell to take on the Seminoles on a Monday night. That should be fun. Look forward to watching that ball game.
First time the Hokies have been in Tallahassee since 2008. That will be Monday. That one floating up near midfield and caught. Thomas Gordon makes the grab for the Paladins.
Leading receiver on this football team from a year ago. Had 39 receptions, just over 700 yards, and good execution as Furman hanging in there.
16 yards on that play for the Paladins, and that will end the first quarter. The Tigers down the hill and taking the lead, 10-0 as we head to the second quarter. In New Jersey, and everybody working feverishly. Now that was sped up a little bit, but it was pretty close.
That's about how fast they work.
They work quickly, and that's the reason we're on the air today here on Raycom Sports. Tom Wormy, Dave Archer, Larisha Harris joining us for her first season of college football on Raycom Sports. Furman and Clemson as we start the second quarter with a run from Jamar Lincoln.
Well, you can't say enough about the people at Raycom and all of our teammates. They get a chance to do what they do. They spend 48 hours trying to put this thing together for us. You and I are on for about 3 hours. So these guys really bust their rear end to make this happen.
Such a talented production and technical team. 2nd and 6. Win to the left side. He got 1. Our first quarter stats brought to you by the North Carolina Education Lottery, celebrating 12 years, over $5.8 billion raised for education. To learn more, visit nclottery.com.
You take a look. I think it's really been impressive how Furman's kind of hung in. You got the one big play, the 40-yard touchdown pass, but a good job by both teams. But Furman's held the football. We talked about our key to the game, Tom. Shorten the game. That's what you're talking about. Keep that offense on the field. Don't let Kelly Bryant and their offense get rolling.
Furman was 2nd in the SoCon last year in total offense, 424 yards per game on 3rd down out to win near the 40. Leland Farrell, 99 in orange on the tackle.
Well, that's the part that's impressive about Bryant and Farrell. They're gigantic human beings, 6'5", about 270, 280 pounds, yet they can make plays outside the numbers along the sideline. That's why both those guys will be playing the defensive end for somebody in the National Football League.
Farrell had 9.5 sacks, 18 for loss. Both of those numbers led the team. Paladins going for it on 4th and 1.
Trying to get Clemson to jump initially. Got a young quarterback in there who that's not necessarily something he's done a lot of. A veteran to try to use the hard count and change his body language, try to get one of those big guys jump off.
Yeah, the Paladins have taken their last time out of the half. 10-0. Tigers in the second quarter.
ACC football is brought to you by Bojangles. It's bow time. By Ram. By CPI Security, official security partner of the ACC. By Bass Pro Shops. And by Geico, saving people money for over 75 years.
The young men and women of the Clemson Life program at Clemson University, designed for students with intellectual disabilities who desire a post-secondary experience on a college campus. And our buddy Frankie Antonelli, son of our broadcast colleague Debbie Antonelli. There's Frankie right there, and Debbie does such fine work on television. We get to work with Debbie quite often, and great to see Frankie and all of his friends enjoying college football on a Saturday in that Clemson Life program. On 4th down for the Paladins. Wilkins stops the ball carrier short. No gain on the play, and the ball goes back to the Tigers.
Well, it went back to the play that paid them off. The last 4th down play, they ran the option play, let Lincoln carry it, but Christian Wilkins, just a monster, comes down the line. He's so quick at that 3-technique defensive tackle and slides in and makes the tackle.
Wilkins, the graduate student from Springfield, Massachusetts, and Suffield Academy in Connecticut. Now the numbers he posted a season ago. And now Trevor Lawrence has entered the game, number 16 for the Tigers. The freshman from Cartersville, Georgia. First taste of college football for Lawrence. ETN to the 45-yard line. 8 yards on the carry.
Now Trevor Lawrence, a celebrated high school career, 52-2 as a starter, and you see his numbers from his senior year at Cartersville High School. This kid has got all the skills.
First pass attempt is incomplete through the hands of T. Higgins. Our Yellowwood brand top recruit is the freshman Trevor Lawrence. 41 TDs and 1 interception.
Yeah, the kid just didn't throw the ball to the other team. The the thing that people say about him the most is he's so level-headed. He's a freshman. He's not excitable. He's a lot like Deshaun Watson. I hate to do the comparison, but that's who he's going to be compared to when you come to Clemson, and he's drawing some favorable comparisons.
Especially when you break Deshaun's passing records in the state of Georgia as well. That catch is made to the 49 by Amari Rogers, and it looks to be good enough, Dave. Got to be close, but it looks to be enough for the first down as Trapp made the stop.
That's a big-time catch by Amari Rogers because there's a collision at the top of this. Does an excellent job of squeezing the ball and making sure he gets the first down. Excellent job by Amari Rogers. He's been big so far.
Has a 40-yard touchdown catch, the first of his career for the sophomore from Knoxville, Tennessee, Amari Rogers. The ball carrier, Etienne, is spun down. McCoy makes the stop. There is no gain for Clemson.
Yeah, McCoy, third on this team in tackles from a year ago. 81 tackles. He made a huge play deep in their territory and knocking a ball away on third down to force a field goal. Elijah McCoy, the sophomore, showing up big here for Furman.
2nd and 11 for the Tigers with Trevor Lawrence out of the shotgun. Feaster behind him and off to his right. Lawrence, quick trigger at the 45. Higgins inside the 35 and a first down. 19 yards on the play as OK made the tackle.
Tom, you want to see how quickly the ball comes out. Ball seated in his hand, ball comes out. Now Higgins can turn, and he's got a cushion between he and Trapp, the corner, which allows him to turn up the field for extra yardage.
Lawrence keeps it, dives inside the 30. McCoy brings him down after a 4-yard gain.
Well, Kelly, this is no indictment on Kelly Bryant. He's the starter. He earned the right to be the starter. But when we talked to Dabo, he said Trevor Lawrence has been so good that he's earned the right to play. And so this was the plan all along to get Trevor Lawrence in the game. It's very similar to what they tried to do with Deshaun Watson, where Watson came in early in the first game of his career. You remember against Georgia.
2nd and 6. Lawrence taken down out near the 39-yard line. Okonya came in for the 7-yard loss.
Yeah, and this is the freshman not trusting his read. So as celebrated as he is, he's got Hunter Renfrow wide open in the slot and panics a little bit. And Anya, the senior, comes through, the leading sacker from a year ago for the Paladins. Here's Hunter Renfrow. He's open. You got to turn it loose. He just doesn't let it go. It was a little bit of a cloudy look, has not seen enough at this level. And he didn't turn the ball loose, and that's the inexperience at the quarterback spot.
Those 4.5 sacks from Okonya led the team last year for the Paladins. Lawrence takes a stick at the 32-yard line, absorbing some contact from Elijah McCoy.
Well, when you're 6'6", a little hard to drop the pad level. And McCoy again comes up and makes the tackle, but this is something he'll say, hey, I got to get this pad level down a little bit lower. McCoy thanks him a little bit. He was able to make a nice tackle. Boy, McCoy's been active, the sophomore linebacker.
So Hugel in for the field goal attempt. He's already connected from 35 yards away. Last year only 4 attempts because of a knee injury early in the season. This from 50 yards away for Hugel. He's got it.
Now we talked to Dabo. Dabo said, I don't know what they did to his knee. It looked like they put a couple of rubber bands in his knee. But Hugel is back, and he nails one from 50 yards. Wow, I thought she was pretty good. She didn't need me. She did an excellent job of shooting it out there. She destroyed your number.
Wait a minute. I want to recount. Presented by Coyote Tractor. Test your skills, throw a pass, compete as your favorite ACC team, and download it for free today in the App Store. Larisha Harris, an impressive performance in her first chance with the QB Challenge app. Bell and Win, the deep end for the Paladins. 6 or 7 yards deep in the end zone. It's not coming out as we go down to the sidelines and Larisha.
Hey guys, so I had the opportunity to talk to Christian Wilkins earlier this week, and he told me that he was a substitute teacher during the offseason. He had some extra time on his hands, so he was able to teach elementary and high school students. Not only that, he also told me that one of his favorite dishes to cook was classic soul food, which is actually my favorite as well.
Nice. Well, You take a look at what Christian Wilkins has done so far in the game, and that's destroy the middle of the Furman offensive line. That's what he does for a living, and now he's the professor, the graduate student.
Pass complete. Sanders. Ball popped out at the end of the play, but Sanders was down beyond the 30. Dave, there's also a new quarterback in there for Furman as we look at this last play.
And the fans here in the stadium at Memorial Stadium react to the Deion Sanders name. Of course, it was here that Deion did his famous wave to the crowd when they punted it to him, and he took it back for a touchdown when he was playing at Florida State. Obviously, no relation here with this Deion Sanders, but a nice play in the right flat.
So Darren Granger is the third Furman quarterback of the afternoon, 6'4", 190 pounds, and a freshman for the Paladins. Flips it out to Bell. Near the first down marker for Bell, who just keeps on going. They're going to spot him at the 40-yard line. It is a Paladin first down.
They're doing a nice job running the ball to the perimeter. Doing an excellent job of getting the ball out there. DeJuan Bell, the freshman, is the guy that carried the ball there on the little outside run play.
Granger, the freshman from Conway, South Carolina. We've seen Roberts, Lincoln, and now Granger. Dirks into the line.
And this is not off of schedule for Clay Hendricks, the head coach at Furman. He had talked about the quarterbacks, and he talked about he was going to play the freshman. He got Lincoln in the game earlier, now Granger in the game. This is a kid that switched from wide receiver when he was a senior in high school. Went to Conway High School in South Carolina. Switched from wide receiver to quarterback, and all he did was account for almost 3,000 yards and over 20 touchdowns. Did an excellent job, and they think this kid has a chance to be a high-level player at quarterback for them.
Getting some reps in the first half for the Paladins. Inside of 7.5 minutes to go. Touchdown pass from Kelly Bryant. Couple of field goals from Greg Hugel. That's your scoring for the Tigers. That is complete to Bell near midfield. He loses his helmet. And he's close to the first down.
You wonder about the future of Furman football. How about these two guys? Granger to Bell, two freshmen. Bell with two-time state champ in the 4x400 meter at Augusta High School in South Carolina. How about that rifle shot from Granger? Helmet pops off on the hit from Simmons. He'll have to go sit on the sideline with a freshman, but well, you got to like the way those two guys operated.
First down at midfield. Harris Roberts started the game, played the first series. Jamar Lincoln came in, and now it's the freshman Granger. Moorhead. There is no game. Exclusive tickets to the 2018 Dr. Pepper ACC Football Championship game on sale now. Purchase a 4-pack and receive 4 $5 Bojangles gift cards and 4 ACC hats. Reserve your 4-pack today. Also enter to win a luxury suite for 10 at the ACC.com/sweetlife.
Now this team right here would like to get back 3 straight ACC titles and a national championship a couple years ago. And they're in the conversation again this year.
Big win against the Miami Hurricanes, 38-3 in Charlotte a season ago in that title game. That pass too far for everyone. Cam Burnett, number 11, closest Paladin receiver. Don't forget next Saturday, 7 Eastern. Note the time. And the ACC Blitz gets us rolling. Coach Tommy Bowden, Katie with him. And then we've got Samford and Florida State, which will play on Monday against Virginia Tech.
In a pretty spirited battle in quarterback. DeAndre Francois surfaced as their leader. James Blackman did a nice job last year. Brady Hockman is down there as well, but DeAndre Francois back at quarterback for the Seminoles.
Wake Forest, Syracuse, and Duke have already posted victories in the ACC this week. 3rd and long. Kendall Joseph makes sure to shut that play down early on.
Really the unsung guy maybe on this defense is Kendall Joseph. Dorian O'Daniel led this team in tackles, but Kendall Joseph was second. 87 tackles for the linebacker. He's going to flow. Everybody talks about the linebacker, talks about the defensive line, and rightly so. But number 34 brings a wallop when he arrives. Big play there to hold that to a minimal game.
Amari Rogers, the deep man, had a return of 62 yards in the first quarter. And watch this one bounce.
Good kick.
Yeah, inside the 10-yard line and marked at the 5-yard line on the punt from Atkins. Enjoy some of the great food in Clemson, South Carolina as they tailgate in week 1. And we'll be back after a word from your local ACC station. Broadcast on AFN, the American Forces Network. We welcome the men and women of the U.S. Army, Air Force, Navy, Coast Guard, and Marines stationed around the world. So proud to have you with us. We hope you're enjoying the broadcast. From Clemson, South Carolina, week 1 in college football, as we celebrate 35 years, Dave Archer, of college football on Raycom Sports. Lawrence remains in the game and hands off. And for more on Trevor Lawrence, down to Larisha.
Hey guys, so when we talked to head coach Dabo Swinney earlier this week, he told us that Trevor Lawrence might look Hollywood, but he's actually low maintenance. He's a no drama kid. He's big, he's strong, he's fast, and his arm talent, he described it as on another level. All those good things about Trevor Lawrence.
Well, and they also call him Sunshine. You can guess why. Anybody remember the Titans? The long hair, Sunshine.
Back to pass, Lawrence. It is behind the intended receiver, Trayvon Thompson. A lot of heat on that one, Dave Archer.
Yeah, looking at Thompson over the middle, I didn't mind so much the velocity as the location. This is not a well-thrown ball. The ball thrown on the back hip, and really trying to make a sliding catch was Trayvon Thompson. Just not a well-thrown ball there by the freshman.
So far, 2 of 6. 3rd and 5. That pass is incomplete. Thompson tried to make the catch.
This ball,
right on top of it.
Talk about a ball had some mustard on it. Take a look at this. Let's take a look at this and see if they may have missed one. Right on the sideline, a little bit of a juggle by Trayvon Thompson. It looked like he got his left foot down. Let's look for the left foot. Is it on the line? Yeah, I'm not sure there's enough. Let's see if there's enough here to flip it over. Ooh, I think there's a little green between the toe and the line there. That might be one they need to take a look at it again. Yeah, they're going to take a look at that one.
Now,
that
Dave,
last look. Yeah, I think there's enough on that sideline shot that we just gave you that shows that Trayvon Thompson got that left foot down with the ball in hand. Well, I'll tell you that this was a rifle shot to throw it out there.
So while the officials take a look at that previous play, we will step aside for just a moment. Go in the second, the previous play under review.
Yeah, I think Trayvon Thompson makes this catch. You can see the green between the toe and the white line. Excellent job of securing the ball. Big time catch, big time throw, and I think that's going to be a Clemson first down.
Now, Dave, the call on the field was incomplete pass. You must have indisputable video evidence to overturn the call.
That's correct.
Do we have it? The jury is out for the moment.
As it
and
turns
the
out, we
sticks are
did have
moving.
that. Yeah.
Somebody knows,
After
Dave.
review, it was a catch at the 28-yard line. First down.
Riley Johnson confirms
and that's the way it's supposed to work. And that's a nice job. I didn't think they took too much time making that decision. So good job. What a good throw from the far hash mark by the freshman.
18 yards on the play, Dave. Tigers up to 100 yards passing in the game. They've got 42 yards rushing. They were 5th in total offense a season ago in the conference. They averaged 430 yards per game in the ACC. ETN. 35-yard line.
Travis Etienne.
When you talk about Travis Etienne, really burst on the scene, a youngster out of Louisiana. Everybody talked about he's got great speed, and finally he kind of became the guy at the back end of the season, averaged over 7 yards a carry. Now he and Tavian Feaster kind of split duties, but they say he's the guy right now.
And that guy has a first down up past the 45-yard line, Dave. 11 yards on the rush from Etienne.
You talk about a guy that kind of burst on the scene a bit later in there, and you see him press the hole. That's what you love as a back, to press that hole and find that crease in it.
Lawrence. Pass is incomplete.
Yeah, that's one I think the freshman made a good decision on. He threw the ball where maybe only his guy could get it, kind of back shoulder. They said this guy is extremely cerebral, very low-key. You heard Larish's comments about him in the conversation we had with Dabo Sweeney. Guy just is even keel, floats even keel, and that reminds him of another guy that threw the ball here that now plays for the Houston Texans.
Lawrence trying to put some touch on it. It's just too far for Kendrick.
I'd like to see maybe a little bit more air under the ball for the young quarterback. You got your freshman receiver in Kendrick. He's a little bit tangled up, so maybe give a little bit more air under the ball so Kendrick could run under it. But that's really the only thing you could fault Trevor Lawrence there. Ball was placed in the proper place. Maybe a little bit more under the ball so his receiver could get there.
Just 2 for 7 on third down for the Tigers in the game.
Ooh, got a free play here.
We got some movement. The Tiger line has not moved. This one thrown by Lawrence down near the 15. Cornell Powell, and they spot him at the 12. What a weird looking play. There is a flag down.
Well, it's offside on Furman, and they knew they had a free play. How about the idea, the young quarterback understanding he got the snap, I got a free play, I'm going to put it up, and Powell gets away with maybe a little bit of a push off at the end. But excellent job by the young quarterback to understand, hey, I'm going to take a shot.
42 yards on the play with the ball all the way down to the 12. And now Choice. He's hit near the 6-yard line and rolls out of bounds. Adam Choice, graduate student from Thomasville, Georgia, 5'9" and 220 pounds, got 6 yards on the carry.
And look at Clemson in the red zone.
There's our red zone brought to you by CPI Security, official security partner of the ACC. 37 touchdowns in the red zone last season, best in the conference. Lawrence wants another, and he's got it. Touchdown pass to Overton in the end zone.
Well, start the clock now. Trevor Lawrence's first touchdown pass of his career. He's got a long way to go to match guys like Taj Boyd and Deshaun Watson. But a perfectly thrown ball off the play fake to Overton on the slant route, and that's number 1.
6 yards on the touchdown pass by Trevor Lawrence, the first of his career. With 2:54 to go, the Tigers drive it down the field for the TD. We check out what's coming up at halftime. We go back to our Charlotte studios with Katie.
Thanks so much, Tom. Coming up at halftime, we're going to take a look all around the ACC. But, Coach, our eyes have been glued on this one. We've gotten to see a few snaps with Trevor Lawrence under center. What are your thoughts so far?
Trevor Lawrence seems just a little bit shaky, a little bit nervous going to his first start. But, again, a long, successful drive there at the end. So, a little shaky at the first, but it looks like he's got his feet up under him now. Absolutely. Hey, stick around. So much to come on our halftime report right here in our Raycom Sports studios. For now, though, let's head back to Death Valley. Tom Wormy and Dave Archer.
Thank you. Good to hear Coach in the studio talking about the quarterback, and I think he's exactly right. I thought that the young quarterback, I thought Kelly Bryant started a little shaky as well. So little butterflies maybe for both guys, but it looks like both of them have their feet firmly under them now, with both having touchdown passes.
The fair catch is made on the kickoff. Devin Wynn making the fair catch, and that ball will come out to the 25-yard line. Now let's test your knowledge with today's Aflac game trivia. What is the record number of defensive linemen selected to the All-ACC first team in a single season from one school? Back with the answer in a moment.
Wow, that's a good question there.
There was also a penalty flag on the play. Riley Johnson is our referee today.
Personal foul against the receiving team. That penalty will be marked off from the 25-yard line. First down.
So the personal foul will be marched off from the 25-yard line. So that'll drive the Paladins
Well, you got some of the new rule there, Tom, with the fair catch inside the 25, where if it's caught in the field of play, you can do that and bring the ball out to the 25. They're trying to reduce, obviously, some of the collisions here at the college football level. But that kind of goes away after getting the personal foul penalty that pushes it back to inside the 15.
Darren Granger, freshman quarterback for the Paladins, in on first down. Ball at about the 12.5-yard line. There are multiple penalty flags on the field.
Yeah, two guys moving at the same time and didn't get back set, so that's going to be another flag against this Furman offense. Might be able to take the result of the play, though. Play netted about a -3, didn't it? Or did it get back to line of scrimmage, I guess?
Illegal shift against the offense. 2 men moving and not getting set prior to the snap. And penalties decline, second down.
Yeah, good idea to decline the penalty. They netted nothing on the play, so now 2nd and 10 for Furman.
So Granger's now on the sideline, and we're back to Jamar Lincoln. He's a redshirt freshman. Up near the 20-yard line is Corey Watkins, number 31.
I'm impressed with the Furman's ability to run the ball to the perimeter, Tom. They've done a nice job of running the ball out on the edge. The toss play, they've gotten some mileage out of their option game to the outside, and it's something that Coach Venables was worried about.
Clemson's decided to take a timeout. 33 yards rather, total rushing for the first half for the Paladins. There is a timeout on the field with 2:24 to go in our second quarter. Clemson up 20-0. Once again, our Aflac game trivia. What is the record number of defensive linemen selected to the All-ACC first team in a single season from one school? The answer is 3. North Carolina in 77, and the Tigers in 83, and 2017, a season ago, where they made it to the semifinals of the college football playoff.
Well, and will we have a team that has all 4 potentially? I mean, you've got a defensive front that consists of Dexter Lawrence and Christian Wilkins, the 2 interior guys, and then their edge players, Austin Bryant and Cleveland Farrell. It's interesting, and it's been what a great opportunity to have all 4 of those kids come back, and obviously a couple of them couldn't have gone to the National Football League.
All 4 were preseason All-ACC selections, and that play, that's number 5, Shaq Smith.
Yeah,
lots of 5.
Redshirt freshman Shaq Smith does a nice job of kind of reading this late. They fake the toss and try to catch Clemson with their speed going the wrong direction, but Shaq Smith read his keys, stayed at home. How about that? A redshirt freshman who just checks into the game, stays at home where he's supposed to. Attention to detail. Talked about precision and detail. Those are the keys of the game for Clemson, and that was epitomized by Shaq right there.
This Clemson defense a season ago led the ACC in total defense, rush defense, pass defense, and total sacks. They had 46. By the way, they only allowed 13.6 points per game. That was second fewest in all of FBS college football. Rodgers.
Yeah, they're not interested in kicking it to Amari Rodgers again.
Not in that instance. Rodgers with a 62-yard return back in the first quarter.
Although I don't think they wanted to kick the ball out of bounds at their own 38-yard line, so they may rethink that one as well.
The punt nets 26 yards.
Now let's see how Clemson continues. The quarterback, Trevor Lawrence, is going to return at quarterback. Just guided the Tigers on a long touchdown drive, over 90 yards on that last drive.
Previous drive was a 95-yard drive, Dave, and a touchdown pass of 6 yards to DeAndre Overton, the junior.
Some offensive coordinators like to take a shot at a short field opportunity. Let's see if they put Lawrence up to bat again.
Lawrence out of a secure pocket to the 22-yard line and complete. 15 yards for a sprawling receiver, Brandon Galloway.
Picked up the tempo. There's another freshman, by the way, in Galloway, the tight end that made that catch. He's a guy that reminds him a lot of Jordan Leggett, the big-time tight end here a few years ago.
ETN with the run. Well, inside of 2 minutes to go in the second quarter.
Well, you think about it, Tom. You're thinking, okay, well, they've got some veteran players coming back, and all of a sudden you start seeing a bunch of freshmen making plays, and you're just shaking your head at the Clemson depth.
2nd and 4 at the 10-yard line. First down and complete to Galloway. First and goal, Tigers.
Well, Galloway talked about him, 6'4", 240, Seneca High School right here close in Anderson, North Carolina, or Anderson, South Carolina, just down the road. Nice read by Lawrence, nice read by Galloway to turn out in that hole, ball right on the money.
10 yards on that play. Tigers scored in the red zone on the previous drive on a 6-yard TD toss by Lawrence. Looking for another. Going in the end zone. The jump ball is incomplete. T. Higgins elevated for the football.
Now, that's a good throw because Aconya's going to come clean and puts pressure in the face of Lawrence. Jump ball for T. Higgins. He makes the catch, just couldn't get the right foot down. Good effort on the outside there by Higgins, but another good throw by Lawrence too. Only where T. Higgins could get it, did not put it in harm's way, and he had a guy in his space as he let it go.
So Lawrence works with 4 receivers on 2nd and goal. ETN has an alleyway to the end zone. Touchdown Tigers, Travis ETN.
Boy, good read by this offensive line for Clemson. A blitz is going to come through the middle. You see McCoy coming. The All-American center, Falsolini, sends him to the outside, and ETN steps right in behind his All-American center for the touchdown. You talk about great recognition at the last moment. Excellent job up front.
ETN had 13 rushing touchdowns a season ago to lead the Tigers. He's got his first here in the latter stages of the second quarter. The sophomore from Jennings, Louisiana, 8 yards to the end zone, Dave Archer.
Well, we've been singing the praises of this Clemson defensive front as we see Christian Wilkins, who's on that field goal unit to kick that extra point. And this is not the first time that Clemson has had some pretty good players up front, Tom.
Well, Dave, as we told you, Raycom's 35th season producing ACC football games. Over 550 games since our first broadcast in 1984. So we'll be showing a few big moments and players from over the years. And today we talk about the player of the year in our first season from the Raycom archives. It's William the Refrigerator Perry in Clemson orange.
Now, you see that first play where he fell on top of that guy? He was playing with the Chicago Bears when I played against him, and he fell on top of me the same way. He was a guy that completely defied logic. The size he was and his quickness made him unblockable. And just was a fun guy to be around, too. Was a tremendous player. And Michael Dean Perry, his brother, played here. Both of them were All-Americans. Yeah, this is not, Clemson having good defensive linemen is not foreign to this part of the country.
Michael Dean is #1 in history for tackles for loss with 61. He's got one more than the Fridge, who had 60 in his Clemson career.
Yeah, the Perrys were pretty good, weren't they? And you didn't get much of a breath of fresh air between the two of them. They were relatively close together, so I'm sure there's some teams that are hoping that these 4 guys that are here now get out of here relatively quickly, and hopefully after this year, which they probably all will, but don't breathe too quickly because there's a whole bunch of them loaded in the bin to come out.
Well, the Fridge won a Super Bowl, Dave. Super Bowl 20 with the Chicago Bears, defeating the New England Patriots.
I played against that 85 Bear team, and arguably the best defense in NFL history. Sacked 7 times that day, and Fridge fell on, I think everybody that wore a Bear uniform fell on me that day when I was playing with the Falcons, but
I don't know if there's actual video. There may be some archival photos of those
Richard
days.
Got into the Hall of Fame just simply tackling me through the years.
Dave Archer, one of the more rugged players in the history of the NFL, as a quarterback with the Atlanta Falcons, MVP of the World League, Iowa State Hall of Fame, and of course you can't forget Snow Junior College as well.
Why would you leave Snow out? Yeah, a lot of very well traveled, will I say. But fun to watch these guys here. This is high-level football that Clemson's playing on both sides of the football. And boy, the depth just keeps coming at you.
Final seconds of this second quarter. 27-0. The number 2 team in the country. Their defensive leader, Christian Wilkins, and the Tigers out in front of the visiting Furman Paladins, whom they have beaten 30 straight times. And they'll go to the locker room on Raycom Sports with the 27-0 advantage. Trevor Lawrence with the TD pass, Kelly Bryant with the TD pass, Travis Etienne with a touchdown run, and Greg Hugel with a couple of field goals. As we go down to Larissa Harris standing by with Devil Sweeney.
Coach, both of your quarterbacks seeing playing time in the first half. Your assessment on Kelly Bryant and Trevor Lawrence?
Well, I think, first of all, just overall offensively, we weren't very precise early. Just some of our base stuff we kind of misfired on, missed a throw or two, both of them, but they both made some plays too. And so it's good to see us getting a little rhythm right there. Got a big play off them jumping offside right there, and then big plays in the kicking game. You know, really pleased with what I saw on the punt return. Defense really played lights out. Got a big stop on downs, two good field goals. So really we got to do a lot in the first half. You know, we got a good spot right now as far as the way we finished, but you know, I want to see us play cleaner in the third quarter.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
As you heard, he wants more and better execution from his Tigers. Right now, Clemson is leading 27-0. Back to you guys in Charlotte in the studio. Katie?
25. Lincoln tries to turn it upfield and gets nothing. Trey Lamar, the junior from Roswell, Georgia, making the stop, number 57 in orange and purple. And here in Clemson, South Carolina, they call purple regalia.
Purple regalia, huh? Okay.
Purple's called regalia officially. Okay. But it's been all orange so far for the Tigers.
Now, that Clemson defense has opened up the second half with all their main guys on the field, their number 1 starting unit.
This is Lincoln up near the 30-yard line. Again, he runs into Trey Lamar after a 5-yard pickup.
Now you can see Lincoln's ability to run the football. They're going to run the dive option. Fake the dive, 2 guys close on the dive, he steps around, and he picks up 5 yards on the play. Nice run. Trey Lamar comes over for a second consecutive tackle from the linebacker spot, but Lincoln's run puts Furman in a very manageable third down situation, if there is such a thing, against this Clemson defense.
Tigers held the Paladins to 33 total rushing yards in the first half. And now 3rd and 5 on the opening series for Furman and White. Lincoln cannot connect with his man beyond the 50. Burnett, there is a penalty marker on the play as Trayvon Mullen was trying to go step for step.
Yeah, it looked like Trayvon Mullen extended that right hand and kind of pushed him out of bounds.
15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Let's see what the right hand does. See if he gets his right hand on the receiver. Yes, he's shoving him out of bounds and impedes his ability to get up the field. So pretty good call right there. Cam Burnett trying to get up the field to the fade route. Well, you're not going to convert a lot of first downs. You're throwing fades to try to throw fades for first down. Very low percentage throw. Clemson challenges you and makes you try to throw that. But they got caught there for pass interference.
Just 30 yards allowed by the Tiger D through the air in the first half. But after the penalty, the ball spotted at the Furman 45-yard line, 1st and 10. And through the line, up close to midfield is Ridge Gibson. The senior from Marietta, Georgia, gets 4. Dave, where are you going to be next Saturday night in prime time?
Next Saturday,
yes,
I get a chance to go to Doak Campbell Stadium.
ACC Blitz, 7 Eastern. Mark it down. Followed by the Sanford Bulldogs and the number 19 team in the country, the Florida State Seminoles.
A big game for Florida State Monday night as the Hokies come calling an early season conference game.
It's quite a 5-day stretch of ACC football as Miami will take on LSU. Number 1 Alabama takes on Louisville. We take you right through Monday, and then next Saturday we go prime time. We're not talking about the Deion Sanders in this game because there is one for the Furman Paladins. We're talking about prime time on Raycom Sports with Dave Archer.
That's exactly right. We look forward to that opportunity to get down to Tallahassee and see the Willie Taggart Seminoles. Another play by Christian Wilkins in the middle. He and Lawrence have been dominant, as you would expect. And, you know, Clay Hendricks talked about how it was going to be a long day for those guys in the middle. They worked on trying to get their 5 best offensive linemen on the field. They even had to move a guy over from defense and Justin Harris to play right guard. But they've done as solid job as they can.
3rd and 6, and the play goes nowhere. Lawrence and Wilkins with a plan to meet at the quarterback, and it works for a 5-yard loss.
Well, he and Dexter Lawrence burst through the middle, and boy, that's not something you want to see as a running back. You want to, if you're the quarterback and you look up and you've got Lawrence and you've got Wilkins coming at you, you're just trying to find a piece of grass to lay down behind.
First sack of the game for the Tigers belongs to Christian Wilkins. Atkins hunts it. This is Rogers near it. And it will be taken at the 11 by the Paladins. Warm afternoon. Time to head down to Larisha for Gatorade heard around the cooler.
Well, while you guys are up there enjoying the cool breeze, we are down here in the heat. 90 degrees right now, 60% humidity. Not so bad, but like I said, you guys are in the shade. Right now, I'm enjoying the sun. But as you see, it's a hot day, and on a hot day like this, the guys typically drink about 200 to 250 gallons of Gatorade plus water. That's a lot, and I think I'm going to indulge in the Gatorade that they drink as well, so I can cool down just a little bit. So thank you, guys.
Yeah, it looked like they were going to not let Larisha get near the Gatorade right there, trying to protect it.
We are in the shade, but it is by no means cool.
I think she thinks we're in an air-conditioned booth up here. Here at Memorial Stadium, kind of fun. You got an open-air booth. You're right here. You're right above the crowd. You get the crowd noise. It's a lot of fun to be here at this stadium.
I won't say there isn't any hot air blowing through this broadcast booth day, but
started right at about 12:20.
Yeah, exactly. And it will continue for 13 straight weeks.
Yeah, it's good to see Tavian Feaster in the game. He's a guy that there we are in the open air. Fun to be here. What a great place. What a great venue to watch college football. Tavian Feaster in the game now, running back for Clemson. A guy that figured prominently for them a year ago.
Complete to Renfro from Bryant, short of the 40.
That's complete to Hunter Renfro.
Willis on the tackle. Hunter Renfro, graduate student day from Myrtle Beach, South Carolina.
Everybody remembers him from his national championship game where he had 10 for 92 and 2 touchdowns against Alabama, but he's been a great receiver here for a long time. The former walk-on.
Got a catch now in 29 straight games as Feaster will have enough for a first down for the Tigers.
Yeah, there's his numbers against the Tide, and of course the championship game when they won the national title, he makes the great catch at the end of the game from Deshaun Watson. It was immortalized on the front of Sports Illustrated. I don't know. We talked to him last year, and I don't know how many. He said he'd signed maybe thousands of those here for students at Clemson.
Bryant zings it over the middle. That is Renfro hauling it in down to the 41-yard line at 16 yards. Bryant to Renfro.
Well, excellent protection up front, so he can wait on Renfro to get to the inside, and then he throws him open. He throws him to the hole. He doesn't throw where Renfro is. He throws where Renfro is going to be. Renfro right around McCoy, the linebacker. Big time throw by Kelly Bryant.
Rogers roadblock at the 40. Dave, January 9th of that season, the 2016 season, a win against Alabama, which was number 1 in the college football national championship game. 35-31, the final of the second national championship for the Clemson Tigers.
Well, it's arguably certainly one of the great national title games of all time. You make some arguments it might be the best.
Pressure coming, and Bryant is pulled down on his half of the 50-yard line.
Like the freshman linebacker, wasn't it, Tom? Adrian Hope coming off the edge.
Yes, it was.
He just blows right by Choice, the running back. Choice was there to pick him up. He just swam past him, and the freshman puts him on the ground.
Loss of 9 in defensive coordinator.
Ocala, Florida is Adrian Hope's hometown. He went to Vanguard High School. He had 24 sacks as a senior. So getting the quarterback, nothing new for Adrian Hope.
Bryant Finally swallowed up inside the 40. Chad Staggs is that Furman defensive coordinator. Even though it is 27-0, Dave, Furman has played a spirited game so far on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, I think they've made it tough on Clemson. They haven't given up anything, and all the throws down the field have been challenged, and they played tight coverage. Just been execution by Clemson here now on 4th down.
Tigers 1 of 2 on 4th down, trying to convert here. Going to be short as Overton, who does have a touchdown catch in this game, comes up short of the marker. The Paladins will get the football.
Yeah, long developing play. They fake the screen one way and throw it back the other way. But OK comes up and drops the hammer. And we come back. The Paladins have the ball.
Brought to you by New York Life. Start a plan that flexes with yours. By your Carolina Ford dealers. By Coyote Tractor. By Hardee's. And by your local Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places.
The first Friday parade outside of Memorial Stadium, that was yesterday. Today it's a 27-0 advantage for the Tigers as we play in the 3rd quarter on Raycom Sports. Our 1st and 10 line brought to you by Lending Tree, official loan shopping partner of the ACC. Darren Granger is in at quarterback for the Paladins. Granger wants to unload one near sideline. The receiver stumbled down. That was 88 Dwan Bell.
Granger, when we talked to Clay Hendricks, he talked about Granger and how good arm he has. And the 6'4" product steps back. He's going to try to find a little time back there. But Cleveland Farrell says you're not going to get a lot of time against us. Drops him on the ground. Forces an errant throw. Tough to throw against these two corners, too. Terrell and Mullen on the outside. Two outstanding corners. Brent Venables loves these two guys.
Roberts, Lincoln, and Granger have all seen action today at the quarterback position for the Furman Paladins. They are 6-27-1 since 1982 against FBS opponents, but have lost 16 of their last 17 for the Paladins. Their last win against an FBS opponent, Dave, came back in 2015 at Central Florida. They won 16-15.
Well, you and I had a chance to see him last year and played a really good first half against a really good NC State team, and ultimately succumbed to the Wolfpack, but played well.
In fact, they won 7 in a row after we saw early in the season. That's a sack. Farrell pulling down Granger. We go to our Charlotte studios. An update on Boston College and UMass.
The studio update is presented by Hardee's. Try our charbroiled sliders. Boston College adding another one.
I tell you, if there's been an area on offense, the Boston College has struggled. It's been the passing game. It's good to see Anthony Brown, Kobe White.
34-7 with 4.5 minutes to play in the second. Tom, for now, back to you.
Well, Eagles. I'm sure they're excited about Anthony Brown being back and playing well at quarterback. Of course, they got the Boston sledgehammer and Dixon and Dillon up there running the football for him.
43-yard punt.
They've got some monsters on the front line. Cleveland Farrell hooked a big one.
27-0, the Tigers and their fans out in front of the visiting Furman Paladins. Kelly Bryant remains in the game, gives it to Etienne for 6 yards.
Yeah, you and I have had a pleasure coming to Memorial Stadium a number of times and watching this Clemson team. I thought that the fan base coming in was coming in early. There were a ton of people coming in here. They were excited about this game.
Bryant throwing on the run and incomplete. You talking about our commute, Dave, from the hotel to the premises?
I was trying to, in a nice way, say it took us a long time to get here. But
even with you leading the way,
well, that was probably why it took us a long time.
No. We might have some commotion and excitement down in Tallahassee next week, Dave. 7 o'clock Eastern. It is the ACC Blitz to get us started.
No, it's a 7 o'clock start time. I don't think we can make that one.
Floating near the 40 and caught. Darian Kendrick, 8 yards.
Well, Kendrick makes a good play, but how about Kelly Bryant standing in? You're going to eat a helmet and get face planted. Look where he puts this football for Kendrick. Right on the money. Kendrick high points it. The freshman goes up, makes the catch for his quarterback, but a nice play by Kelly Bryant.
Seabrook with the hit on Bryant, who breaks away. Bryant will waltz into the end zone. He's got a Tiger touchdown.
Well, Kelly Bryant had 11 rushing touchdowns a year ago. Watch his patience here. Little jump step right there behind the block on the outside. And then he coasts in the end zone, get great speed. But Kelly Bryant, one of the big time running quarterbacks in this league.
35 yards on the run by Kelly Bryant. Bryant last year ran for 665 yards in total. And he's got the TD there.
The senior quarterback finds a little crease, and he shoves it in the end zone. It's Clemson big. We'll be back after a word from your local ACC stations.
Clemson, South Carolina, the beginning of the 123rd season of college football here in Tigertown, Death Valley. And their very first opponent ever, back in 1896, as we showed you in the first half, was the Furman Paladins. And a win for the Tigers in that very first game in the series on October 31st. 14-6. They only played 3 games that whole season, Dave. They beat Furman. They beat Wofford, but lost to South Carolina that year in 1896.
That's the big one. Even back then, that was the big one.
But they have beaten them 4 years in a row in that rivalry at the end of the season. All right, let's go down to LaRusha Harris.
As we told you guys before, Harris Roberts, a bright future ahead of him. He is actually a dual enrollment student, a part of Clemson and Furman. He's earning his second bachelor's degree again at Clemson. 15 credit hours on his schedule. He's taking classes like control and integration of multi-domain dynamic systems, heat transfer, statistics for science and engineering, and fundamentals of machine design. And when I spoke with him earlier this week, he told me that he thinks heat transfer might be his most difficult class.
Wow. I don't even know what you just said.
It's plenty of heat transfer today as temperatures climb into the low 90s here in Clemson, South Carolina.
It's part of the NCAA Cooperative Education Exchange Program. I wrote it down, so we got it right. How about our camera crew following him? That's the one thing to go to a guy's school and take a picture of him in Furman. He's at Clemson wearing Furman stuff. So I'm sure that was pretty fun for us to do, and pretty fun for him to do as well. But what an impressive kid. 3.66 grade point average.
When it's all done, he'll get degrees from both Furman and Clemson when he completes that program. Sanders on the run, and we go to Charlotte and our studios with Katie Witham.
This studio update is presented by Hardee's. Try our charbroil sliders, and Georgia Tech continuing to pile them on.
I tell you, most of the highlights we've seen out of Atlanta have been with a fullback up the middle. Kervonte Benson, 8-yard touchdown run.
27-0 right now in the third quarter. Back to you guys.
That's a veteran offense that Georgia Tech has coming back. Maybe the deepest offensive line Paul Johnson's had. And Kervonte Benson, the benefactor, another big run.
Marshall setting the record last year for quarterback rushing at Georgia Tech. This is going to be a first down on the little pitch there. And Watkins, number 31, gets it done for 19 yards.
Now, this has been part of football for a long time. Dive option. Fake the dive. Option the edge player on the end. Get a block on the edge. Excellent block outside. And up the field goes Watkins, the freshman. Run to a perfection that time by Furman. This is what Brent Venables told us yesterday in our meeting with him, the defensive coordinator at Clemson. He says it's tough to prepare for these option teams, the teams that run it extremely well.
3 carries and 30 yards rushing for Watkins. They'll try to mix it up on the Tigers again. This is Bell who gets spun to the turf. Chad Smith is number 43, 2 yards on that play.
Well, it's hard to outflank this Clemson defense, but going to try to run the reverse here. Clemson's going to stay at home and make the play and get him on the ground. DeJuan Bell has great speed. Ran track at North Augusta High School in South Carolina. two-time state champ in the 4x400 meter relay team. This guy can really fly. So they were trying to get him on the edge, but Clemson had none of it.
Furman, the all-time winningest program in the Southern Conference. That includes a 1988 national championship in what was then 1AA. Granger pulled to the turf, and the third sack of the game for the Clemson Tigers.
That sack was led by number 67,
You get Albert Huggins and Justin Foster, 67-35, are going to come clean. Huggins first. Here comes Foster to brush him off. But excellent pressure. Now remember, these are the guys that are backing up the guys. And this is that next layer of players that come in for Clemson defensively. They don't take a step down. Albert Huggins, the senior, he's been around a long time. Played in 33 games here as a Clemson Tiger.
Previous play was a loss of 8. Ranger just cannot get around the swarming defense. Simmons.
Now, Isaiah Simmons, who plays the Dorian O'Daniel spot, if you will. That's Sam linebacker who led him in tackles a year ago. They love this kid. Simmons with great range at number 11. Does an excellent job of coming up off the edge to make the tackle. They think Isaiah Simmons, a sophomore, has a chance to be a special player. Big surprise, right?
Punting situation for the Furman Paladins. Kendrick, the deep man, retreats to the 8. Whistles are going to stop play after a 51-yard punt. And we're going back to check in with Tommy and Katie.
This studio update is presented by Hardee's. Try our charbroiled sliders. We just saw the offense. How about the defense getting in on the action, Coach?
Defense wants in on the action. Brandon Adams forces the fumble. Picked up by David Curry. Scurries 15 yards for a touchdown.
They are scoring in bunches. 34-0 in the third, guys.
How about that? David Curry, Nate Woody there now as the defensive coordinator. They wanted to do something about that defense, create turnovers. David Curry, I played with his dad, Buddy Curry, with the Falcons. David Curry, a freshman, or it was a linebacker, got hurt as a freshman coming back off of injury. Makes a big play. I'm sure his parents are right there and enjoying that moment.
Lawrence is back into the game for the Tigers. Up towards the 25-yard line. 17 yards. Lynn J. Dixon, number 23.
Yeah, and just, hey, guess what? Here comes another guy that has unbelievable numbers. Almost 5,200 yards rushing in high school for Dixon.
He gets the call
again. This guy's got great speed.
Oh, Dave, across midfield. It's a race. 2 white shirts, and they'll pull him down at the 15. Darius Kerr saved a touchdown as Lynn J. Dixon accelerated away.
Taylor County High School, Butler, Georgia, over 50, almost 5,200 yards rushing and 73 touchdowns. This kid can really run it. Averaged over 10 yards a carry his senior year, and he only played 6 games because he got hurt.
61 yards on the rush all the way down to the 15. Longest play of the game for the Tigers. Lawrence pass completed to 15. To the end zone and in. Justin Ross, 15 yards. Tiger TD.
Well, the hits just keep on coming. Justin Ross is another freshman. As you can imagine, he's the number 2 rated high school wide receiver in the country a year ago. Where does he go? He comes to wide receiver U. Why not come to Clemson, where they've had so many come out of here? And what a nice play on the wide receiver screen there to run through. Got some good blocks, but you see the speed and his vision to put the ball in the end zone.
8 seconds to go in the third quarter at Memorial Stadium, and the Tigers have upped their lead to 41-0 as Ross takes the pass from Trevor Lawrence, his second TD toss of the game, and Ross goes to the end zone. Just a 3-play drive for Clemson. Next Saturday, tune in 7 o'clock to the ACC Blitz, powered by the all-new 2019 Ram 1500, followed by our game of the week, Samford at number 19, Florida State.
Boy, can't wait to get down there and see Cam Akers run the rock. How about DeAndre Francois back running the show at quarterback? Florida State looking to climb back to prominence.
So part of that top 25, Florida State, Virginia Tech, Miami, and then Clemson. It's our AP Top 25 brought to you by Progressive Insurance.
Well, Tom, 19 and 20 will play each other on Monday night, so that will change a little bit. Miami taking on LSU this weekend later on today. Of course, Louisville later on plays the number 1 team in the country in Alabama. Good test for Bobby Petrino's team.
That game being played in Orlando, Florida.
Jawan Puma Pass at quarterback for Louisville. 6'5", 240 pounds. Almost the polar opposite of the guy we saw there at quarterback before, in the dynamic Lamar Jackson, who's making some waves in Baltimore with the Ravens.
How about this, Dave? The Cards and the Tide, first meeting since the Cardinals won 34-7 in the Fiesta Bowl, January 1st of 1991.
Wow. How about that?
Lincoln is the quarterback for Furman.
Offense, 5-yard penalty, first down.
Well, penalties are something that Coach Hendricks was not used to last season. We've had some issues with that today. That ball's on the turf.
Called it a forward pass. The pitchback got in front, so it ended up being a forward pass on the play, which actually is a break for Furman.
Now the clock reads zeros, but that is going to be the end of the third.
Tom, we're in Death Valley, and the Tigers are feasting on the Paladins. It's 41-0. Back with the fourth quarter in a moment.
Start of the fourth quarter from Clemson, South Carolina, and the number 2 team in the nation has the lead through 3 quarters as we compare them, Dave.
Well, even though Furman's tried to shorten the game and hold the football, as you see the time of possession, they've been able to do that, but still, Clemson is just so dynamic on the offensive side of the ball, and this smothering Clemson defense has not allowed them to make any plays.
Gibson on a run for 3.
Now you got to continue to try. You're running the option. You must continue to run the fullback, even though there's not a lot of room on the inside. Another nice play. Again, another freshman makes the play for Clemson, and Shaq Smith. We saw him make a couple plays in the first half. Stays at home there at the backer spot. Another tackle. 6'2", 245. Freshman out of Baltimore.
3rd and long for the Paladins. Ball comes out. Tigers think they have it, and they do. At the 11.
Yeah, it looked like he just dropped the football, Tom. Just kind of squirted out on him. Another freshman, Braylon Spector, is number 10, is going to come out of there with a ball. Let's take a look what happens here. Just got kind of arm raked on the ground, got raked out, and he could not get back to it. Looked like Spector might have got the strip. He's the guy that got the strip on the play and the recovery. How about that? So, I don't know how many freshmen we're going to mention, but Calhoun George's Braylon Spector makes the play.
Trevor Lawrence at quarterback for the Tigers. Got a couple of TD passes. They're going to run it with Dixon.
And let me make sure I say that right. Baton Spector, not Braylon. Baton and Spector made the play on that defensive play. So I want to get that right. I know his parents, if they're not here, they're probably watching.
Those 37 touchdowns, best in the ACC.
Yeah, you get up over 70% of touchdowns scored, then you're operating at a really high level.
Scored 46 of 51 entries into the red zone a season ago. Lawrence, the easy pass, and that's a touchdown, Clemson. 88, Brandon Galloway.
I told you a little bit about this tight end, Galloway, and we've obviously talked about Trevor Lawrence. These are two guys who are going to play for Clemson for a while now, but two freshmen, Galloway, freshman out of Anderson, went to Seneca High School here just down the road, just across the lake. But nice job by Trevor Lawrence on the zone read, pull it out, hit the tight end in the flat. Boy, just the wave of youngsters, it's crazy. Yeah, Clemson in the end zone again. It's back to the future here at Clemson with freshmen scoring everywhere.
Nothing Tigers. Reason to dance on the sidelines today. Tigers next week have to travel to Texas A&M and their first-year head coach Jimbo Fisher. A&M got a win on Thursday against Northwestern State. Those teams haven't played since 2005 when the Tigers beat A&M 25-24 in the first game of the season.
Yeah, Jimbo played two quarterbacks in that game, and one is a little bit more of a runner, the other one a little bit more of a passer. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out when they take on this vaunted defense here next weekend.
Tigers, by the way, are 32-0 in their history against the football championship subdivision. I'm pretty sure 33-0 is in their future with the 48-0 lead.
You're going to make the early call?
Although I always give credit to any FCS team that challenges the FBS. Let's go back to our studios in Charlotte.
This studio update is presented by Hardee's. Try our charbroiled sliders. Boston College all over UMass, Coach.
Now here's where you teach your defense to sprint to the ball when the ball's in the air. Lucas Dennis, 59-yard interception return, makes it 48-7 at half.
Yeah,
Boston College.
What a way to end the half, right? Coaches love something like that. For now, we'll send it back to you guys.
48-7, Boston College in the lead. That's another old Eastern football rivalry, UMass and Boston College.
Yeah, and they've always had defense at Boston College. I think this year they've got some offense to match it.
Yeah, the Eagles are 20-2 since 1966 against UMass, and they're trying to score another victory.
Nolan Turner, the sophomore, comes up and makes a play out of the secondary, and we asked about some guys that have flashed in camp for Clemson. And Brent Venables, instead of mentioning some of the name brand names, Nolan Turner was one of the names that came out of his mouth. He thought Nolan Turner had played extremely well, played a lot of special teams a year ago, now getting an opportunity to play some safety.
Oh! Second down, the ball was on the turf, and it's going back to the 5. Kevin Wynn felt the brunt.
Another freshman. This is going to be Jordan Williams, number 59. Is going to blow them up right there. 59, Jordan Williams knocks the ball out. And then number 3 freshman is Xavier Thomas makes the tackle. Tom, this is unbelievable. I mean, the guys they're rolling out off the sideline that have been guys waiting in the wings to play.
That was a loss of 13 yards. Nothing happened at the 10-yard line. Maybe 2. Deion Sanders, the junior from Franklin, Tennessee. Don't forget, next Saturday, 7 o'clock, we start with the Blitz. Then it's Samford and Florida State for the 3rd time in the history of that series. And Florida State has won 2 previous meetings. They have not met since 2010, and they first played back in 1950. We're going to crank it up in Tallahassee in prime time. Speaking of prime time,
you think Bobby Bowden's going to be there with us? I mean, Bobby's got ties to both schools.
Certainly has the invitation.
The great coach. Maybe we can get Coach on our set. Tommy, get his dad down there for us. It'd be great.
Atkins punting from his own end zone. This one will bounce and bobble near midfield. 2 seasons ago, college football playoff winners of that national championship game, the second in school history.
Football is brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places. By Progressive Insurance. By First Citizens Bank. By Yellowwood. And by Aflac.
This is the sprawling and sparkling Clemson football facility. $55 million and 142,000 square feet. That includes a bowling alley, among other things. There was a miniature golf course in there. There's an indoor basketball court. There's everything you'd ever want.
Well,
enormous weight room, Dave. The facilities.
Everything we didn't have. I know that. I mean, it's unbelievable, the facility, and it's a great place for the kids. The kids go and do a lot of their academic stuff there. It is a neat place for them to go and be together. I think that's the biggest thing about that. As we have another freshman in Tom at quarterback, and Chase Bryce, redshirt freshman from Loganville, Georgia. He went to Grayson High School. Anybody knows Georgia knows that Grayson, one of those powerhouses. They won the 7A state championship in 2016, going 14-1. And this kid threw for just under 3,000 yards and 33 touchdowns that year.
Lynn J. Dixon. Tigers, by the way, over 500 yards of total offense. Dixon got 6.
You know, and to listen to Dabo talk about it, he loves obviously talking about all the kids that they've got stacked up. Obviously Dixon, who's running the ball there. But he talked about Bryce, and we were talking about Lawrence, and we were talking about Kelly Bryant. He says, hey, don't forget about Chase Bryce now. This kid, we'd be very comfortable with him being our starting quarterback. In fact, he's had an outstanding camp.
Flags and whistles. Dabo also went on to say, if we needed Bryce.
5-yard penalty, second down.
To take us all the way to a conference championship, you wouldn't feel bad about that either.
Yeah, he wouldn't blink. He said that this kid can really play at a high level. They're excited about him. So he's getting his opportunity now. This is great when you start talking about depth and getting a chance to play.
Just the third penalty against the Tigers is that one. Short hops off the arm of Bryce Chase.
Trying to get it to Dabo's son, Will Sweeney, who earned a scholarship this offseason with his. And Dabo didn't have anything to do with it. Dabo said, hey, you know, you guys tell me who you think has earned scholarships.
I'm with you. Brothers Will and Drew Sweeney on the Clemson roster as the quarterback stumbles down. Of course, Will is the starting holder.
Yeah, he's a holder, but his work in the offseason, he said, hey, you know, I was reluctant to say, hey, it's my son, you know, you didn't want to see how that would be perceived. We just want to go based on merit. He says, I jump his rear end in practice. I praise him when he's doing extremely well, but my coaches are the ones that told me, he said, no. He said, in fact, Will was one of the top guys in camp and in spring from a receiver standpoint, and he earned himself a scholarship. So congratulations to Will Sweeney.
First punt of the game for the Tigers. Spires to Bell. It's going to bounce and go into the end zone. Will Sweeney had a couple of catches last year as well. 38 yards on the punt. We'll come back to Tiger Town in just a moment. You are watching Raycom Sports. Here's a look at our Toyota game summary for summaries of other ACC games. Go to the Toyota Game Center on the ACC.com.
Yeah, 19 to 31 combined for 264 yards, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions. Shaky start for both when they started going, but ultimately got their feet under him, and I thought looked really good distributing the ball to a number of receivers.
TD passes of 6, 15, and 9 yards for Trevor Lawrence.
You can add on the run, Kelly Bryant, about a 40-yard touchdown run for Kelly Bryant earlier in the game.
Also threw that 40-yard touchdown pass. Corey Watkins turned back. No gain, and Williams makes the play.
Well, you tried when you prepare for these games, and Tom, you and I try to spend a lot of time getting people on our charts and being able to talk about them and making sure their families hear about them. And we're going to get to a point here depth-wise for Clemson to where there weren't enough room for everybody to get on here. But been fun to watch the depth and talent of this Clemson team. They just keep throwing out there and playing at a high level. They don't step any back.
Granger.
Darren Granger, number 4 on the quarterback keeper.
And now just over 8 minutes to go in the fourth quarter as Granger got 3. 27-0 at halftime, and then the Tigers took complete control in the second half.
Looked like one of their young defensive tackles. The big hit we saw by Jordan Williams, he's down and kind of nursing the right leg a little bit. Looked like his right ankle was rolled up there.
So they will attend to that Clemson player, and we'll step aside for just a moment with the Tigers in front comfortably. 48-0 here on Raycom Sports with 8:05 to go in our fourth quarter. Okay, good to see Williams being helped up and to the sideline. We'll be back after a word from your local ACC station. Here at Memorial Stadium and Frank Howard Field, and everyone having fun on this first Saturday afternoon of college football here in Clemson, South Carolina. This will be the 303rd win at this facility. Granger sidesteps a man and is able to get the first down.
Tom, I like this kid, this Granger kid. I think that we talked about when he first came in the game. This is a kid that moved from wide receiver to quarterback his senior year in high school. He went to Conway High School in South Carolina, and he racked up almost 3,000 total yards, had over 20 touchdowns in his first year and only year at quarterback. And here he is at Furman, and he's got a big arm, 6'4", 195 pounds.
Got 11 yards on that previous run. Wants to roll that pocket to the near side. Took a shot as he got rid of it. Pressure was coming. Time for Know Your Score, brought to you by Lending Tree. So let's go around the ACC. Dave Archer, Wake Forest. Syracuse had to score 55 to win. And Duke, they all won on Thursday and Friday.
Yeah, Britton Brown, a good game for Duke running the ball. How about Dungy, the quarterback, runs for over 200 yards in a game that Syracuse had to hold on to beat Western Michigan. You look at James Madison, who's one of the top FCS schools in the country, giving NC State all they want. Georgia Tech rolling. And, of course, the Boston Sledgehammer bringing the noise for the Eagles.
This is a breakaway run by Deion Sanders. He won't win the race, but he'll get down near the 20. The junior Deion Sanders.
Number 20.
Well, this will not please Brent Venables. They've done a great job of containing the run game, and a missed tackle right there. And the great speed of Clemson to be able to run it down from behind. And Anthony Williams, the redshirt freshman from Atlanta, made the tackle. But he had to come from behind to make the tackle. Excellent run by Deion Sanders to give Furman an opportunity, their best opportunity of the day.
45 yards on that play, the longest play from scrimmage in the afternoon for the Furman Paladins. Tigers defense sets the standard there. Very short gain, if any, maybe 2.
Another freshman, Xavier Kelly, makes the tackle. Big number 22 in the middle. 280-pound defensive tackle. Well, we've said freshman behind a lot of these names, and I'm sorry, but that's just the way it is. They are really deep, and that's who's on the field right now for Clemson.
Out in front.
See if Furman can find a way here, Tom, to make a play against this young crew.
Not on this occasion, as Gibson is denied. It's going to be a loss. It'll be no gain on the play for Gibson. Upshaw with a stop.
Now, Reagan Upshaw made a big hit on Granger earlier. Now he's going to step around the block of the guard and does an excellent job of wrapping up the back and putting him on the ground. Sophomore, Richard, sophomore, Central South Carolina.
Dave, we certainly expected the Tigers to be victorious here in week 1, but this will now be 9 wins in a row at home. Also at home, they've now won 30 of their last 31 games and 47, Dave, of their last 50 here on this field.
Wow.
Granger. Ball pops out inside the 10. The coverage by the Tigers. K.J. Henry falls on it.
Well, you had Shaq Smith was there, Xavier Kelly was there, Reagan Upshaw, all were closing to make the tackle. 53-5, 22, we're all going to get in on the play, and the ball pops out. And K.J. Henry, one of those talented young defensive ends. Now that's the future in defensive end, as you see the guys that are leaving from that talented front. K.J. Henry, the freshman defensive end, makes the recovery.
Yeah, the second turnover of the afternoon for Furman. Chase Bryce is your quarterback. Third QB we've seen from the Tigers this afternoon. Operates from his own goal line with a handoff to Dixon. And he is driven backward. All right, let's go down to the sidelines. Larisha Harris standing by with a Clemson legend.
Standing by with Jeff Davis, a.k.a. the Judge. You have two twin boys on the team playing linebacker as well.
Yes.
How proud of them, how proud of you are them, especially after graduating with their marketing degrees?
I am very proud of those young men. Our family are part of the Clemson family. And when I first came to Clemson, I was the first one to come and didn't quite understand that tradition. But now my wife, my first three children, and my twin boys all graduated of Clemson. And we raised our young men to be leaders. And so they understand that the empowerment of an education is about how I enter life, not how I enter football.
And you're also the founder of Paul Journey, a program where you are implementing lifestyle as winning all the time.
Yes, our young men are thrusted into a position of influence. We want them to understand what that influence is, and we want to highlight them as men, because contrary to what anyone may think, their player stands on their man. And so it's important that they be educated. It's important that they have ethics. It's important that they understand that if I'm going to be great, my true desire is to share that with the world and be a contribution to society.
And right now, Clemson, a team full of young talent. Your thoughts on how they're going to do for the remainder of the season?
Well, I'm confident that they're going to do very well, because they know it doesn't start with playing football. It starts with what we do every day. Fundamentals are every day, and respecting mankind, respecting the opportunity that we have, respecting those that have come before us. It is that mindset that does not allow for us to rest on our laurels.
Thanks so much, Jeff.
Thank you.
Yeah, great to hear from Jeff Davis, one of the great players in Clemson history. But would you not want your son to have a chance to be around Jeff Davis and what he brings to the table, man? That's incredible.
Captain of the 1981 National Championship team. Here's our Bass Pro Shop catch of the game. Overton's got the catch, but we're also going fishing.
Yeah, we're gonna let Cleveland reel some in. Cleveland Farrell is gonna reel in a big one right here. They've been doing that all day on defense, so why not let them be a part of Bass Pro Shop's catch of the game?
By the way, 3 sacks in the game for the Tigers. Last year, the Furman Paladins, as a team, for the season on the whole, allowed just 7 sacks all season. They've given up 3 today to superior competition.
Well, and Tom, I think the quarterback has just prevented it from being bigger, so you're exactly right.
Long pass play. Flag comes out. 2 of them, in fact.
Now, this is where if you're the young corner here, you're going to turn around and ask, okay, what did I need to do differently?
Number 21, 15-yard penalty and an automatic first down.
The freshman corner from Atlanta, Kyler McMichael. But he's going to ask, okay, what did I need to do? And Brent Venables just wants to know the same thing. This is a guy that I don't care what group is in the game. He's in a coach's rear end off. They've got to pull him off the field. A former Frank Broyles Award winner, the National Assistant Coach of the Year. I mean, this guy he was fun, and I know you got charged talking to him, Tom, how intense he is.
In fact, Tony Elliott, the co-offensive coordinator, won the Broyles Award for last season. So 2 years in a row, the Tigers have had the Broyles Award winner for the top assistant in the Football Bowl subdivision. Venables in 16, Elliott in 17, and we had a chance to chat with both of them. Appreciate their time and great conversations. And when I was talking to Venables, when you talk about the detail, Dave, that's where he likes to get his hands dirty and teach these guys quickness, anticipation, desire, and fire when you're playing on D for Venables.
Good play flowing down the line to make the tackle. That's one you talk about, one of the Davis brothers. As J.D. Davis makes the tackle right there. J.D. Davis, we talked to his dad. He's played in 37 games. His brothers played in 36 games, so 75 games combined for the Davis brothers. And they get their degrees here at Clemson and going to be great leaders just like their pop. That's pretty cool to see them playing.
Yeah, Jeff was also the 1981 ACC Player of the Year and Orange Bowl MVP back in '81. 3rd and short. Whistles will stop the play, and there is a timeout.
Furman, first charge for the second half.
Here's our performance of the game. It's brought to you by your local Chevy dealers.
Well, this Clemson defense, we came in talking about them off the top, how tough they're going to be, how maybe they are the best defensive line in NCAA history. Well, they showed it today because they were all over Furman from the start. 1.9 yards of play, 8 tackles for loss, 3 sacks, and to be honest with you, if Furman's quarterbacks weren't as dynamic as they are, they'd probably have 10 sacks today. Excellent job by Clemson's defense.
Just 137 total yards for the Paladins this afternoon. Next week, we are going to Tallahassee, Florida. Prime time. We'll get it started with 7 o'clock Eastern, Ram, ACC Blitz, and then it's Samford and Florida State, Dave.
DeAndre Francois has won the starting job at quarterback. We saw James Blackman last year play extremely well at a high level. We could probably expect to see both of those guys, maybe even Bailey Hockman, the sophomore quarterback that's the left-hander can sling it. So, but DeAndre Francois back after his injury in the opening game a year ago against Alabama, and I know the Seminole fans are excited about that. Another place that likes to play a little bit of defense is down there in Tallahassee, so I'm sure we'll see that Seminole defense cranked up.
Our trip to Tallahassee last year was later in the season. Because of weather considerations early on, we were unable to do the game against Louisiana Monroe. And then we visited later, and what a ball game we were treated to. Florida State at Syracuse went right down to the final play, and the Cuse could not make a long field goal to tie it up and send us to overtime. That was the first home win of the year for Florida State last season. Over the middle into the end zone. It's a touchdown. Furman, Ryan DeLuca, number 83, 16 yards for the sophomore from Fort Mill, South Carolina.
And it's an excellent throw by Granger. Big-time arm right down the pipe. Reads it properly off the play fake. The freshman quarterback. Remember, this kid played wide receiver 2 years ago, played quarterback last year in high school. How about that throw against Clemson right down the middle? Big-time throw and a nice catch by Ryan DeLuca. Just 6 catches a year ago. Does a nice job of squeezing that one for Furman's first touchdown of the 2018 season.
So it's Granger to DeLuca, the sophomore, making the catch. Fort Mill High School in Fort Mill, South Carolina.
Now this Furman team takes on Elon next weekend in a conference game. Excellent throw right there, and you kind of wonder, does Granger draw the start? I mean, he's played the lion's share here in the second half, and you could see the arm on the 6'4 freshman. And a nice job by DeLuca to secure the catch. Ball thrown a little bit behind me, but makes the grab. Now, I think Clay Hendricks is going to love what he got out of his team today. They never stop fighting. They're overmatched. This is one of the best teams. There's going to be teams at the FBS level that are not going to be able to match up against Clemson, and I thought that Furman fought all the way through, and this is going to be a nice learning experience and a lot of nice tape for them to look at to improve and get ready for conference play. And they play in a great conference, Tom. You and I have had a chance to do Southern Conference football. That's one of the top conferences in America when you start talking about the FCS level, and they're a playoff team from a year ago, and they're expecting to give you that.
Coach Hendricks told us earlier in the week he's a former player in the early 80s as an offensive lineman for the Paladins, and they went to the national championship game in '85. He says, why can't we do it again? A return out near the 40, Cornell Powell. And then he was an assistant coach as well at NC State, and also an assistant at Furman for that national championship in 1988, head coach Clay Hendricks.
Yeah, pretty cool for Coach Hendricks to go back, where he started as a lineman. Had a chance to start as a player on that team. 3-year letterman at offensive guard. So it's neat to go back to your alma mater and He's got them. This is a playoff team, the FCS level.
Coach across the way, pretty good too. Dabo Swinney will win his 60th game here at Memorial Stadium and improve his record to 60-7. At home, he's now 9-1 in season openers with the victory against the Paladins.
You know, you were talking about those awards that we saw with Tony Elliott and, of course, with Brent Venables and the Broyles Award. And when we get a chance to talk to those guys, all they wanted to talk about is Dabo Swinney and what Dabo Swinney's done for this school, the culture he's created here, the accountability for his players. And speaking of Swinney, there's Will Swinney on a catch in the left flat. Dabo's oldest boy. But Dabo has established a culture here that's trying to reload.
This will be the 102nd win for Coach Swinney. Number 100 came against South Carolina last year in the rivalry game. Won by the Tigers.
Well, I thought that both teams came to play, Tom, and we saw the number 2 team in the country. They got some things to work on, some tape to look at, as does Clay Hendricks' team as they get ready for conference play. But good opening weekend for the Tigers, the number 2 team in the country.
They get the win, 48-7. A late TD by the Paladins. It was all orange, all Tigers, all day. And now, as is tradition, folks leave the stands and the hill, where Howard's Rock is the top of that hill. They started the day touching the rock. They end the day with victory number 1 for 2018.
Well, you earn the right to touch Howard's Rock and enter this stadium. I think the Clemson Tigers that took the field today certainly earned that right as they played to a high level after a bit of a slow start. And I give Furman a ton of credit for that. I thought they played them tough early.
Next Saturday, the Tigers have to travel to Texas A&M, a night game, 7 o'clock start. And they'll take on former Florida State head coach Jimbo Fisher. 531 total yards for the Clemson Tigers. It all got started in the first quarter with a 40-yard touchdown pass, Kelly Bryant to Amari Rogers.
And that doesn't include what they did on special teams. You had the Amari Rogers big punt return as well to add to that. So created some opportunities in their special teams. And a good start. I mean, that's what you're trying to do. You're trying to get off to a good start. They have a very serious date next weekend, as they call it, travel to College Station to take on a coach that knows Clemson pretty well, the Jimbo Fisher and the Aggies of Texas A&M.
Defense will be the calling card, you would think, for the remainder of the season for the Clemson Tigers. But offense on display today. We got to take a look at Trevor Lawrence. Got his first throws as a quarterback, and Kelly Bryant was the starter today for the Tigers.
Well, Dabo told us Kelly Bryant earned the opportunity to be the starter. He won the job, and he came out, again, a little bit shaky as the whole team did, but he got his feet rolling. Big time throwing the 40-yard touchdown to Amari Rogers, and then maybe what he does best. Outstanding runner at the quarterback position. Then we got a chance to watch the young freshman who came in, the heralded freshman, the #1 recruit in the country. He came in and he struggled a little bit early, but he got his feet under him as well. Went on to throw 3 touchdown passes in the game. And I think that battle will continue throughout the year. The senior, the graduate student, Kelly Bryant, against the freshman, Trevor Lawrence. I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
They both had solid days. Lawrence with the 3 TD passes, Bryant with the TD pass, and the TD run of 35 yards in the third quarter for the graduate student from Calhoun Falls, South Carolina. Trevor Lawrence getting his first taste of action.
Well, I mentioned Trevor Lawrence threw his first touchdown today, threw 3. Now he's only 104 behind, I believe, Taj Boyd. So he's got a little ways to go.
He's going to be in 104 selfies today, too. The age we live in, social media, inundated, and you'll see a lot of today's festivities. We were proud to be a part of it. Again, we said this is the 35th year of Raycom Sports broadcasting college football and in the ACC. And next week, we'll keep it rolling.
Yeah, look at Clemson's schedule with Texas A&M and, of course, Georgia Southern, a former Southern Conference team, now playing in the Sun Belt Conference. And then, of course, they go to the conference and Georgia Tech, and that's never easy.
Tigers started with a win. 33rd against 0 losses against the football championship subdivision. Coach Sweeney is now 9-1 in season openers. And 2-0 against Furman. Beating them back in 2012 as well right here at Memorial Stadium.
Well, this is one of those places that doesn't matter who the opponent is, they come out in droves to support their Tigers. And they do a great job of backing this team. Let's go down to Larissa, who's standing by with Dabo Sweeney.
Head coach, you guys just won your first game. Your overall evaluation of the quarterbacks.
Well, I thought we got better as the day went. Like I said early, I think everybody was amped up and a little excited. We missed a couple of throws, but I thought we settled in and really just played well. Especially the end of the half, 95-yard drive, 2-minute drive, back-to-back touchdowns, and then the same thing in the third quarter. I thought we took control of the game, got the running game going, but the biggest thing was complementary football. Defense, special teams, and offense kind of all complementing each other, and we were able to get control of the game. So a lot we can improve on, but I think for a first game, we got a lot of things on tape. We got to play a lot of guys and kind of get some experience for a few guys and just kind of knock the cobwebs off a little bit. It's been a long time since we played a game, so made some mistakes, but we're all good things that we can coach from and teach from.
You talked about playing a lot of guys, so I'm assuming you are pretty okay with your depth, seeing a lot of the young guys make some moves today?
Yeah, and we played 3 sets of safeties. They scored right there at the end, but we're just trying to challenge our depth to be ready. And for the most part, I thought they did a really nice job. We created turnovers, I guess 2 fumble recoveries. So +2 in the turnover margin day, that's big for us. But yeah, we got a lot of freshmen got in there for the first time. Some guys that have played, but maybe they got a bigger role this year. Saw a lot of those guys get opportunities. And, again, for the most part, I thought we did what we needed to do, but certainly plenty that we can coach from and correct, just like the sky punt. I'm really glad that we got an opportunity to work on a sky punt. And I'll be son of a gun if we don't let it go in the end zone. We practice that, get her back to the goal line, like a shortstop, and we just, so there's some things that we can do, because those are things that can make a difference in a game, a close game. Hey, in this game, no big deal, right? A close game, that can make the difference. So we'll coach hard from this tape and see if we can make some improvement and play a little more precise next week.
Thank you, Coach. Dave, Tom.
Larissa, thank you. 31 straight now against the Paladins, Dave. They roll up 531 yards of total offense, and the quarterbacks, Brian and Lawrence, get involved as well.
Well, not surprised. That's why Dabo Sweeney is one of the top coaches in the country, because he's thinking about what can we do to get better. He's talking about the tape there, how they're going to learn, and he's talking about a play and a punt that happened with the score 48-0. And he's talking about a play, how they didn't cover it properly. That's why you win championships, and that's why Clemson's going to be in the mix all the way down the line, because they have a standard here. It was their key, precision and detail.
Texas A&M next up on the road for the Tigers, trying to get to their 4th straight college football playoff. And with that, we say so long from Clemson, South Carolina, Memorial Stadium. Let's go to our Charlotte studios, Katie and Tommy.